Welcome back to Straight Talk. I'm Laurel Porter. We're in the final countdown to the Winter Olympic Games in South Korea. Here to help us get ready, welcome once again to my guest, Professor Jules Boykoff, and we'll check in with Cassidy Quinn in just a moment. Once again, welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thanks.
You're watching a lot of athletes. Let's talk about some of them. One of the athletes that really fascinates you is Breezy Johnson. She's going to Western Washington University. She's competing in downhill. She lives in Bellingham, but came from Eastern Idaho. Why are you intrigued by her?
Well, I think it's amazing that she's balancing both being a high-level, Olympic-level skier on one hand and still pushing forth her education. I think that's really amazing, and I think it also points up a really interesting aspect of Olympic athletes, especially winter ones. They're not necessarily getting rich doing this. This is not LeBron James rolling into the Summer Olympics with a huge paycheck coming no matter what happens. These are athletes who very much care about their sport and need to be thinking about the next step in life afterward.
And someone similar to Breezy Johnson is Oregon's Loren Ross. She's from Bend. She's an alum of the Mount Bachelor ski team, 29 years old. She told us that she's taking one term a year at the University of Oregon. She's somewhere in her junior year. She's 29, so that speaks to your point that they have to kind of put some things on hold, but they still, a lot of them work on their education.
And she's so well-rounded. I mean, she's into music, she's into art, and so she's sort of a paragon of what a human being can be.
Another really interesting athlete that you were telling me about is from Ghana, the competitor Akwasi Frimpong, competing in skeleton. Why are you interested in that athlete?
Well, first of all, he will be the first athlete from Ghana to participate in skeleton events. I mean, it's just an amazing story. He immigrated to the Netherlands illegally, and he was playing sports there, and it turns out he was a really fast runner, and they groomed him in the program to be an Olympic-level runner. He got injured, he hurt his Achilles, and then he shifted sports and moved to bobsled. He almost made the team for the Netherlands. They actually naturalized him and gave him legal status at a certain point. Failed to get into those Olympics, but he's come back, changed sports, and he's going to participate in the skeleton. Just seems like an amazing guy, and I really wish him all the best there.
And if he wins, he would be the first from Ghana or Africa ever to medal in that sport. So that's going to be fun to watch. Chloe Kim, 17 years old, from California, first generation Korean American. She has a handful of relatives. Her grandma still in South Korea. I read that she could have won gold in Sochi, but she was too young. She was only 13, and you have to be 15 to compete.
That's right.
So it's going to be fun to watch her.
No question about it. I mean, she is a favorite for a medal, technically gifted, really willing to put herself out there, and she's very young, so she's got a big future ahead of her.
We mentioned earlier Alana Myers-Taylor. She's going to be a bobsled athlete, hoping for a medal. Tell us more about her.
Well, she medaled in Vancouver, she medaled again in Sochi, and I think she'd like to cap off her career with a gold medal here in these PyeongChang Olympics. I find her fascinating too because she's really pushing the envelope on mixed gender bobsledding, and I think that's got to be the future of the Olympics, mixed gender events, and she's been at the forefront of really pushing for that.
I always love the athletes you tell me to watch because you pick out some really interesting athletes and teams. One of them that we should be watching is the Nigerian bobsled team. Tell us about that.
Sure. Well, they're the first bobsled team from Nigeria, and they're playing for something much, much bigger. They're based in Houston, Texas. They're going to have a lot of people in their corner supporting them. So I don't think they're favored to win a medal. In fact, I would be shocked if they did. But that really kind of captures the Olympic spirit, that it's maybe not necessarily about Olympic medals, but it's actually about participating, having fun, and meeting people from around the globe.
Professor, we only have about 20 seconds left, but I wanted to see if you had a final thought to leave our viewers before we check in with Cassidy.
Sure. Well, I just want to say, if we do see athletes speaking out and standing up for what they believe in, I hope people will rally to their support. I think that really is an emblem of the First Amendment we've come to cherish here in the United States. And if they do that at the Olympics, it might seem like it might be controversial in the moment, but history has shown that people who do that on the Olympic stage are people to be celebrated. So I think we should just start celebrating them right away.
Professor, thank you for joining us here on Straight Talk. And now we're going to check in with Cassidy Quinn. She is on her way right now to South Korea. I had the chance to catch up with her before her exciting assignment in PyeongChang. Cassidy, you're off to South Korea.
Yes.
What are you most excited about?
I am so excited about just being in the middle of all of the Olympics craziness in the best sense of the word, because people are so patriotic. You know, they wear flags. They just are so excited to represent their country, even if they're just cheering on from the sidelines. And it's just like the ultimate sporting event, everything happening all at the same time for a little over 2 weeks, and I'm just excited to be in the middle of it.
And this is the first time you've covered it for KGW, but you've been to the Olympics before.
Yeah, so first time covering for KGW, for NBC, for a TV station. I went to the Olympics in Vancouver in 2010, up in Whistler, British Columbia, and covered all the sliding sports, so bobsled, luge, skeleton for the Olympic News Service there. And then in 2012, I went to the London Olympics and did some social media there. So this will be a totally different experience, but at least I kind of know what it's like to be at the Olympics, but definitely not in South Korea.
Well, you're a veteran. Do you know where you're staying yet?
We are staying in, hopefully I say it right, the Gangneung Media Village, and I guess it's new like high-rise buildings. They look pretty cool. Hopefully we'll be able to see a lot of South Korea from in the room. They're 3-bedroom apartments, so I'm sharing the apartment with 2 other girls. There's a little kitchen, there's a TV, there's a couch. And then I guess there's a breakfast buffet every morning, so I'm excited to check out what kind of food is there, yeah.
And you are loaded down with gear, and we have some of the gear here that you have, some of the Olympic swag. Tell us what you have here.
Well, of course, you got to keep your head warm. Most of my live shots will be in the morning, Portland time, but from 10 to midnight in South Korea, so warm hat, a nice little vest that's puffy, and this jacket is super warm. Anytime I have it on inside, I'm like overloaded with heat.
Full of insulation.
Yeah, I know, just all kinds of stuff.
It's gonna be cold there, right?
Yeah, I guess it's been kind of colder than usual leading up to the Olympics.
So what are we talking about? Do you know?
Maybe -5.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna need that coat.
Yeah, exactly.
And these mittens.
Yeah, so these mittens, actually anybody can buy them online on the Team USA shop, and I'm sure over there in South Korea as well. And they're pretty warm too, and you can represent your country.
Well, I know Matt thinks these are going to be the must-have item from the Olympics. So which Northwest athletes are you hoping to catch up with?
There actually are a lot. The closer we get to the Olympics, the more we hear about. So Ben Ferguson, I'm really excited to see because he's competing. He's from Bend, and he's doing the snowboard halfpipe, which of course is also what Shaun White is doing. So I'm hoping I can get there and check that out because I'm a snowboarder myself, so I'm really excited to hopefully get close to the snowboarding action. Loren Ross is also from Bend. She's lived there since she was 7, and she actually is still a student at the University of Oregon studying art. So she has this whole artistic side of her, but then she's a crazy, impressive skier who, by the way, less than a year ago had knee surgery and came back just in time to compete in a couple World Cups and just casually make the Olympic team, of course. And then also Jackie Wiles has been born and raised in Portland, and now she lives in Aurora, and grew up skiing on Mount Hood and ski racing and going to her 2nd Olympics.
So you're going to be busy. You're going to have a lot going on at the games, but do you hope to get out and see some of the sights? What do you think you might see?
I'm hoping to get to spend a day in Seoul. So we fly into Seoul, but it'll be like the middle of the night, so we won't get to see anything there. But I'm hoping to spend a day there. There's a fish market, I think it's called the Noryeonjin Fish Market, that everyone says you just have to go to, and I'm a seafood lover myself, and it just looks so cool. Jackie Wiles, that skier I was just talking about, she told me her favorite thing from when they did a training race in South Korea was sweet potato lattes.
Oh my goodness.
I guess sweet potato noodles, lots of sweet potato things in South Korea. So sweet potato lattes, I've promised Jackie Wiles I will go check out, and it sounds wonderful. And there's lots of like spas over there. I don't know if I'll get to do go to any, but that's what I would love to spend some time doing.
You said you might get to go to the DMZ too?
Yes, yeah, thank you. We do get to going on a group field trip to the demilitarized zone, which is one of those things I've read a lot about. You hear about it on the news. One of my colleagues, Matt Renault, that will be there, has gone there, and he did a segment that we aired a little while ago. But I'm excited, nervous, all of the things to get into the most fortified border on the planet, they call it. And we'll get to talk to some of the people that are on the ground there, and
what a rare opportunity.
Yeah.
We look forward to your report on the DMZ. Cassidy, good luck, safe
Thank
travels to you, and we will see you in PyeongChang.
Yeah.
And don't forget, you can watch the Olympics right here on KGW. Cassidy's reports will be on KGW at sunrise. The games start on February 8th, and the opening ceremony is Friday, February 9th. We're off for a few weeks for Olympics coverage. We'll see you after the games for Straight Talk. Enjoy the Olympics, and thanks once again to Professor Jules Boykoff. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Have a great week.